This power, it's different from any I've ever had. Think you can keep up? Feel free to try.
Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 Future Saga Chapter 4 is set to release this summer of 2026. Let's talk about when we could potentially see the release of this or new information. There's been a lot of speculation going around, and I would have to say right now, Xenoverse 2 information for this specific DLC might be more anticipated than actual, like, Xenoverse 3 info. I think a lot of people are excited for both, right? But people just want to see how this game finally ends before we can move on to the next one. And I totally get it. I totally understand, right? I'm down for anything. Any news related to new Dragon Ball content, you know, my ass is there. So let's talk about this because there are some interesting ideas on when this could be dropping. Now, I want to debunk some stuff, okay? Because there are still a lot of people who are going around, like, tweeting at me or messaging me. I've gotten emails on it directly saying, like, dude, they showed the release date right here. As you can see, it says releases September 30th, 2026, okay? Now, for those of you that are new, or maybe you're younger and don't understand how this works, and that's totally fine, I get it, right? That is a estimate placeholder. That's all it is. That's nothing more, nothing less than that, right? Okay, that's not the release date, okay? I mean, honestly, it could be the release date. Like, let's see, let's just play into it, okay? We're gonna go to September 30th. That's on a Wednesday. That's not that crazy to believe that it could drop because that's a weekday, right? So yeah, it's possible. I don't see it actually happening. That is not the official release date. If it was the official release date, Bandai would have put out a trailer or a statement on one of their pages, Twitter, YouTube, whatever, that showed it. No, they don't have that yet. All they've confirmed is the summer. And I guess that isn't actually that wouldn't actually be the summer anymore, right? Because I think the September 21st is when fall, if I recall correctly, officially begins, right? Is that right, or am I crazy? I don't know. Yeah. So yeah, that's not the release date. I don't see them waiting and dragging it out until September. I could be wrong though, but August and July and even the end of this month are all fair game, okay? So if we go to the playlist of Xenoverse 2, usually the Europe version will kind of tease in a way that there's one unavailable video hidden, okay? This could be anything, honestly. It could be the trailer, the launch trailer, which is, you know, what we would hope for. Or it could be some shit like the Super Fashion Contest number 17 or something like that. I don't know. I don't even know what we're on anymore, okay? What are we on, like the 5th one or some shit? 6th one? It could be something like that. That's just ass, okay? And nobody cares about, right? Sorry, I don't want to say no one cares about it, but I'm just saying, like, yeah, we want the content, we want the DLC. So yeah, that's the situation with that. So yeah, I'm going to assume 99% this is probably the trailer for the launch trailer, okay? So if it is, let's just say hypothetically, if it is, this DLC could be coming a little bit sooner than, you know, we think. But it's up in the air at that point. So this is 4 days ago. Shoutouts to Content Virus, okay? They're trying to figure out patterns and things on how, you know, DLC generally releases, right? So they say, hey guys, I'm trying to understand Bandai's current release pattern for the upcoming Future Saga Chapter 4. I noticed the Supreme Kai Time tournament just started and ends around June 11th, okay? So that should be over at this point. Hopefully you guys did it, because I saw a lot of people asking, like, oh, when is she coming back? Because a lot of people want to get her in the game and unlock her before the game ends, you know what I mean? Because we don't know if they're going to just cease all online content, and she's, you know, considered an online thing, right? Usually, doesn't this specific tournament usually drop right before a major DLC or patch maintenance? I've seen a post about this, but I'm not familiar with the Xenoverse 2 release pattern. I think that's just coincidence. I don't recall that ever being like an actual thing. But yeah. On the other hand, the Steam page currently says coming July to September. For those who track the server cycles and Steam placeholders, has Bandai usually stuck strictly to these Valve Shop windows in the past, or do they often shadow drop content early? Yes, they do. If a new raid drops right after June 11th, does it mean it's officially delayed to July? Can't say anything on that. There's nothing official here, but yeah, just trying to understand if June is completely out of the picture or if there's a pattern here. Thanks, okay? I don't think June's out of the picture completely, but the fact that it does say July to September on here, I would play it safe and say that that's when it could be, right? That's a little bit more likely. Now, keep in mind, this isn't the first time that Steam was wrong, okay? They did this with Sparking Zero. I don't know about other games and their DLC and stuff, if they have like a placeholder estimate or whatever it may be, but when it comes to Steam, Sparking Zero did some bullshit where they had the estimate for Diamond Pack 1 and Diamond Pack 2 coming out, I think the window was a couple of months before it actually released. And they go, oh shit, that was wrong. And then they crossed it out. They actually showed like a big ass line that omitted that. And they showed the new estimate, okay? So we can't rely on Steam, you know, as a good source anymore. But like I said, right now, they haven't done anything. They haven't crossed anything out. So it's to be expected that July to early September is more likely than it dropping this month, okay? Because if that is the case, Sparking Zero could be dropping at the end of this month, and then July, or even August, or even September could be when Future Saga Chapter 4 drops, okay? Now, that would actually make sense, unfortunately. Okay, for those of you I know that are very excited for Chapter 4, I am too. Sparking Zero's last DLC released in September, at the end of September, if I recall correctly. Xenoverse 2's last DLC released at the end of October, okay? So, not saying that one could release before the other or anything. It's absolutely possible. It's not out of the question. Nothing is ever out of the question with Bandai's dumbass shit that they do. But yeah, it would make more sense to have things consistent, right? So, something that released earlier should be releasing earlier than the next release for the other game, in my opinion. I think that would make more sense, right? Because given how they would schedule things and how development for things went. So yeah, I think it's very possible. Xenoverse 2 and Sparking Zero are both going to have a lot of content. Xenoverse 2, a lot more content and work is going into story more than anything. You know, those cutscenes, those beautiful cutscenes, definitely take a lot of time. Sparking Zero doesn't do story. They don't do cutscenes and shit. But they have a lot of fucking characters. And there's going to be a lot of content in this upcoming DLC. So, it's honestly fair game on which one's going to be coming out first, okay? So the last thing I did want to go over, and this is to play into a potential June release, if there is a June release. I found this very interesting, and I didn't even think about this, but this honestly could work quite well. This is suspicious. We could get Future Saga Chapter 4 around that time. Again, it's possible, right? Xenoverse 2 is having their collaboration with Gekkishin Squadra, where they're going to release, I think, Xenotrunks outfit and the Ultra Super Villain God Vegeta outfit on June 23rd, okay? This aligned perfectly with the summer release window we got from the teaser trailer, which starts late June, exactly June 21st, right? That is confirmed, usually the official start of the summer. In Japan, I think it's different. I saw someone saying, oh, at the very start of June is when they consider that the start of summer, but I don't fucking care. It's whatever. We'll just go, again, play it safe, okay? Not to mention that a lot of times Dragon Ball games get news around each other, so why'd I say it like that? Each other. each other. So I wouldn't be surprised if we got the launch trailer across June 22nd to the 25th. 25th is Thursday, and they always drop a DLC launch trailer on a weekday, which is true. It's not 100%, but at least it's something to look forward to. Yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree. Sora Chi 88, you are on to something, and I think it is definitely a possibility. But again, your boy has brought up possibilities, and your boy was a wrong motherfucker. You already know it. Shoutouts to Summer Game Fest Xenoverse 3. Fuck me for that. But yeah, that would be really good, because guess what? Guess the day of June 23rd. Just take a guess. Just take a guess. You don't have to take a guess, because I already brought it up. My head might be covering it. That is a Tuesday. That is a Tuesday. Now, do I think they would drop it on the same exact day as Gekkishin Squadra thing? No, not necessarily, but it would be kind of cool. I would quite like that. That would be actually very nice, because it's like, okay, well, Gekkishin Squadra is only getting some skins. It's not like a character drop or anything. So it's like, okay, have a little bit of something there, and have a lot of bit of something here in Xenoverse 2 where you drop the DLC. You know what I'm saying? You smell what I'm cooking? So, yeah, that would be pretty good, in my opinion. Tuesdays are generally, I think, when the trailers drop. Wednesday is a free update, and then Thursday, from the history, if I recall correctly, I could be wrong because it's been a while, and sometimes they fuck around with the days, right, of the week, but it's always a weekday that everything drops. Trailer, free update, and then DLC release, okay? Now, for me and for content creators, usually you'll see gameplay on that stuff on the free update, right? Because all the data is there and we're able to access it. So that's usually when everything would go up for, seeing what is included in this content other than, the launch trailer, right? We still have not seen anything on Twitter. Twitter drops usually, I would say at least in the past couple of DLCs, especially the last one, they dropped a Broly trailer on Twitter exclusively. They never released it on YouTube or anywhere else, okay? So they have not dropped anything on Ultra Superhero Goku, Ultra Instinct, or whatever it may be, Ultra Supervillain Supreme Kai of Time, or whatever characters are coming. There's a lot uncertain on this DLC, y'all. A lot. We know it's the final ending. We know there's going to be a final war arc type of thing in this, right? Some Avengers type shit. So that's the craziest thing about it. And I mean, honestly, I like it that way. I like to be kind of kept in the dark about this because I want to be so surprised by how it ends. But at the same time, it's like, I would at least like to know what characters are going to be playable. You know what I mean? But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Let me know your thoughts and opinions. Speculate down below. As always, I love reading the comments. I love reading what you guys have to say. And not only about the release date, but what content we could possibly be getting. Are we getting a free update? Are we getting a new Awoken skill? I know people care more about that than anything. Second to how this is going to end. But it's exciting, man. It's very exciting. It's very sad as well because I love this game to death. And it's basically dead after this. I don't want to say that, but we're moving on to the next game. So they're not going to be touching this game anymore. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out. Have a great day.
This is Broly, and you are watching SLOplays. Make sure to subscribe, or else I'll destroy your entire planet.